Congregations from around the world will read from Parshat Lech Lecha, in which Abram receives his marching orders from God to Lech Lecha, to get going. But try as I might to focus on this week's text, I discover that I'm still preoccupied by last week's Parshat Noach. You see, in last week's Parsha, our ancestors give us the tale of the greatest infrastructural project ever attempted, a tower built so high that it would enable humans to stand amongst the gods, to create, as our Torah tells us, a lasting name for themselves. Confronted by an uncomfortably temporary existence, human beings craved a sense of permanence, a resolution to the discomfort created by the fleeting nature of our lives. But the humans' obsession with permanence becomes all-consuming. In their determination to build a monument to their greatness, they begin to neglect one another, even refusing to halt construction when their fellow laborers perish. Alarmed by the eagerness with which the humans overlook one another, God frustrates the humans' plans by confusing their speech. Groups of people begin to speak in different languages until they lose the ability to communicate altogether and abandon the project, each linguistic community fleeing to a different region. The Tower of Babel serves as a cautionary tale for those of us who would seek to escape our distress above all other pursuits. For while it's only natural to pursue relief in troubled times, that search, all too often, leads us to ascend lonesome towers, isolated from the plight of our fellow human beings. And in short time, our pursuit, like that of our ancestors, becomes all-consuming. Blinded by determination, we lose the ability to see others for who they truly are. It's as if we begin speaking a different language. Our tongues quickly turn sharp, delivering stinging criticism or demagoguery to those who would question or impede our pursuit, never realizing that we have begun to use words that others simply cannot comprehend. Not because they're in a different tongue, of course, but because they lack the empathy and compassion to fight into audience with anyone who doesn't already agree with us. And whether we're willing to admit it or not, Tuesday night brought disquiet for many of us. Whether we're emboldened conservatives searching for acceptance and validation, or downtrodden liberals searching for hope and meaning, we all crave resolution to our collective unease. But we must resist the temptation to seek that resolution at the expense of others. Over the past several days, it has become all too fashionable to tell one another how to feel in the wake of Tuesday night. Either in person or via Facebook or text, we urge our demoralized colleagues to embrace the results of the democratic process. Or we blame our triumphant colleagues for placing that democratic process in jeopardy. But the only people who will ever hear these pleas are those who already agree with them. Because in our search for comfort, in our search for meaning, we have misplaced our empathy, and we have forgotten our sacred obligation to one another. In this very community, we have members in desperate need of our compassion and our understanding. We must not allow our convictions from Tuesday night to prevent us from embracing them, from holding them, from loving them in their time of need. Their stories are our stories, even if those stories don't help us find the resolution that we so desperately seek. Sam has spent his entire life in Englewood, raised by hardworking parents who crossed the border from Mexico in pursuit of a better life for their children. Sam wonders if his dream act will ever become a reality, or if Tuesday night means that she'll be forced to say goodbye to his parents. Jody loves Los Angeles. Its eclectic blend of topography, architecture, and culture serves as both the perfect muse for her art career and the perfect setting to raise her 2 young children. The Affordable Care Act allowed her to remain in Los Angeles despite the rapidly rising costs of raising a family here in LA. But she's afraid that Tuesday night means she might have to soon bid farewell to the city that she loves. Neither Sam nor Jody need us to tell them that everything will be okay. They don't need us to tell them to embrace democracy simply because that would make some of us feel better about celebrating what happened on Tuesday night. They just need us to hold them and embrace them, even if they're feeling different than we are right now, even if their fears make us uncomfortable. Dennis, on the other hand, is not in love with Los Angeles. He hates the traffic, he can't stand the heat, and he misses his parents, who still live in his hometown of Detroit. After his factory shut down, Dennis moved his family to Los Angeles in search of work. But Tuesday night has him dreaming of a day when he can go home again. Lori's responsibilities as a small business owner weigh heavily on her, especially her responsibilities to her employees. Having built her business from the ground up, Lori was heartbroken when she had to let go of Martha and Dawn, 2 longtime loyal employees. But running a small business in the 21st century with 21st century taxes is no easy task. Lori hopes that Tuesday night means that she'll be able to hire back Martha and Dawn, who are still looking for new jobs. Neither Dennis nor Lori need us to label them as racists or misogynists simply because of who they voted for. They don't need us to chastise them or reprimand them simply because some of us are still mourning what happened on Tuesday night. They just need us to see them and accept them, even if they're feeling different than we are right now, even if their hopes make us a little uncomfortable. We have veterans here tonight, soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and guardsmen, all of whom pledged their lives to the defense of this great country. If you serve this wonderful country, we'd like to ask you to rise at this time so that we can thank you for your service. Now, many of the people who stood up here tonight fought for this country, and I'm sure that those who didn't were absolutely willing to. But I also guarantee that they didn't travel thousands of miles to foreign lands. They didn't risk their lives or bury their friends just so we could be safe. They did it because they believed in something greater than safety. They believed in an America where everyone, rich and poor, black and white and Hispanic, straight and gay and transsexual, conservative and liberal, can drink from the chalice of freedom. They believed in an America where everyone can be seen and heard and embraced for who they truly are and for what they truly feel. And so if we are to honor our veterans this Veterans Day, then we must be brave enough to come down from our towers and sit in the discomfort that Tuesday night brought. We must be gallant enough to listen to the stories we don't want to hear, even when they make us uncomfortable. And we must be courageous enough to open our arms and our minds and our hearts to one another and seize this opportunity to build the country our veterans fought so hard to protect, a land for the free and a home for the brave. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will for us on this Veterans Day. Shabbat Shalom.